Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing BeamNG again. I've been having a ton of fun with the rally update. And this means that I'm trying to get like 3 stars in like all these stages. And there was one in particular that I found really interesting because this was the first stage that I actually had to hunt. Because this is the SS Backroads stage. It's with the Ibishu BX series. That car is an H pattern, so quite a raw car. It has gravel tires on there because it's mostly gravel this stage. But the 3-star time you have to get is 3 minutes 50. It's already quite hard to get under 4 minutes on this track. At least I found that quite hard to get there, but I had to get some like interesting tactics going to get below the 3 minutes 50, and I would like to share the tactics that I used. So I drove this replay earlier, not today, actually last week somewhere, and I will just talk you through like from start to finish what I'm doing, what lines you can take, and what tricks you can pull off. So at the start, I start in 2nd gear, which means, you know, just a little bit more traction. 1st gear you have to shift up early anyway, and right now we're getting to the 1st turn, and you want to aim to the right of the stop sign. Why to the right of the stop sign? Well, you can just cut a little bit of the track. If you go too far to the right, you will hit a ditch, but this means, I will show you from the outside, there is this ditch where you can jump over. It's quite a risky jump, you have to get it right really well, but if you get that, you can shave off like 1 to even 2 seconds, because suddenly the tight turn isn't tight anymore. And this is gonna happen for the next one as well, because you'll get up to a very tight right-hander. And on the right here, you want to aim right above this pipe. I think I went a little bit more to the right even, but what you essentially do is you pretty much tighten the turn. But if you go a little bit too far to the right, you will get a flat right front tire or even damage your suspension. But it's just a little bit of enough of a cut, and because the weight's on the left rear, the right front should like move up, but because of the soft suspension it will fall down a little bit, and then you will just about hit it there. But this means that you would get just around to the right side of this one tree here. That's just quite a small tree, but if you hit that, you'll know what happens then. And that can save off 1 to 2 seconds as well, just because you can gain so much more speed out of here, and from here on out, it is actually full throttle. It's full throttle. Stick a bit to the right hand side of here, because this jump, if you end up on the left, there is a nasty bump there. Then you get to this jump, which it does say it's a 5 right. But you can completely full throttle it and aim a little bit to the right, so you jump over a small part of this hill. Because this means you get a little bit of a better setup to the next left-hander, which is very tight and very slow. That's the square left here. And it says don't cut, so you don't cut that one. I do not use any handbrake here, I'll tell you. But for half speed, you aim a little bit here, you jump over it, brake, and just lock your brakes. Because what you're gonna do here is counter steer a little bit, slow down, and once you get into 2nd gear, you can throw it around here. You can run a little bit wide, but it will mean a harder setup for the next right-hander. But over here, you want to use a little bit of this outside banking to make your car turn to the right. And over here you can again cut, but in my run I didn't. I was a little bit hot into here, I'll be honest. And then you go into the left-hander, and this this fencing, you can drive through. Remember that, because you want to aim as close to this pole as possible, because your right-hand tires will be on the tarmac and the left-hand side tires will not have like a lot of weight on them anyway, so you will not be leaning on them. That means like you don't really need those tires to grip up anyway. And that's exactly what I do here. And then you slide out a little bit towards the outside, a square left, just brake late, not too late. This is pretty much the perfect drift angle I got into here, because I hardly had to turn my wheel. Just at the exit I had to like balance it out a little bit. And after the turn, full throttle. 6 left, 6 right, 6 left. Goes into a 5 right, but this turn is really interesting because it says a 3 right. But if you aim towards this 3 pretty much, you will slide out anyway. The car wants to go to the outside, so you have to turn in really early and aim for this 3. That is your apex, because I'm still in 5th gear. And full throttle pretty much. Well, yeah, I didn't dare as much, but I'm pretty much full throttle. And I see with this angle, you will slide towards the outside. And I still have like a ton of space here on the inside. And on the outside here, you will have so much space still to play with that it's pretty much a full... I mean, someone is going to take it full throttle, because it is possible. And then you get to this caution with this right 6. And that turn will go into a left-hander, which is really, really tight. Don't go full throttle into the stern, but what I do is brake a little bit. Keep it in 5th. Keep it in 5th. I see on the right bottom, I keep it in 5th. Because this means that your weight going to the left rear, you can get a little bit of grip towards the right-hand side of the stern, which you will need. See? It just enough to go all the way to the right-hand side for this turn-in. Because this 3, I, by the way, didn't try to go on the left-hand side of this 3 yet. Might be a possibility of making it quicker, but there is quite a bump there. So I bet you that you're gonna flip if you do that. But at this moment, you really want to aim as close to the 3 as possible, simple as. And don't slide out, because these 3s bite. So I understeer a little bit of sliding, but you can use these branches a little bit as a cushion. But this 3 over here is solid. Once you hit that, it's game over pretty much. But yeah, going out of there, it's again 6 right, 5 left, and this is the first real tight right-hander. You want to brake early on the left-hand side here and really throw the car towards the inside of the turn, because you will slide out. Definitely if you get a little bit more speed, it's not a problem if you run in with a little bit hot, which I will show you here what that means. I didn't run hot, but I aim towards the inside here. If you go into too hot, you will go towards the outside here and drive through these branches. These are not solid, and you will lose maybe a second, but it's not the end of the world. So, guys can get back into here. It does mean you will be a little bit more to the left here, so you will slow to the left-hander. And that left-hander is really important to stay all the way on the left-hand side there. Again, I didn't try to go to the left here. Don't know if there's a checkpoint there or not. But as you see, it is bumpy there. It says in the pace notes. And what you want to do is aim it all the way to the inside, just around these branches, and then aim it towards the inside of those branches. Because on the right-hand side, the more you go towards the outside, the bigger the bump will be. And on the left-hand side, it really doesn't, you don't really feel it. Whilst if you hit the outside there, you will make the rear like jump up a little bit, and you will spin out of control on the exit here. So yeah, this exit you will not be utilizing everything. And here comes this quick right-hander. Just note, don't go all the way to the right here. There's a tree stump there. That's all there. All you need to know. What I pretty much aim at is a bit. You see these two bits here? If you aim there, you will not hit the tree. And then onto here, onto the right-hander. Don't cut again those stumps, but there is a bump here on the left-hand side, which will throw your left-hand side of the car up. So there it goes. Be wary of that, because it will push towards you outside into the ambulance there. Never happened to me yet, I swear. But at this rate, you're going full throttle again. Full throttle, and as a fourth right-hand turn. The right-hand turn is not too bad, but it's a left 3 after it, which is. Because that one, it will go down. So you aim to the right, pretty much against that sign, and then just throw it into the left. Because if you throw it in here, on the outside there is banking. If you go in hot, you can use a little bit of the banking. But with the tight line I take, if I run wide, I end up in the trees. Be wary of that. And on top of that, as you see here, once you go in here, and you run wide, you end up into the bridge, which you do not want, of course, because it will end your run. So be a little bit safe here. I am, at least. You can full risk it if you want, but it will end a lot of your runs. At this rate, you don't really need to stay on those two. But yeah, it's just a balance issue. But this left-hander, it says it's a square left. It kind of is. But it's a tight square left, because you get into a jump a little bit and you jump onto tarmac. So again, aim. You're gonna hit this. This flag, this post, you're gonna just hit it. I mean, I didn't, because why would I? I mean, but if you can pretty much hit it, because over here the tree is only there. That's the one that is the collision. And at the exit, you want to go all the way to the outside there on the right-hand side. Because this means for this left-hander, it said it's a hairpin. It's definitely not a hairpin. It's pretty much a straight. If you end up all the way on this inside here, you can even take a little bit of the bump here and let your car like run and slide a little bit to the outside onto this banking, because it's a very soft banking. As you see here, it will just put your car into the right line as well. Goes into another left 4. This is a very wide left 4. Over here you've got the 3. All this cross you can just cut, including the fencing. So you just go through there. You've got on the outside again a lot of space here, so don't worry about this turn. It's not going to be your end of your run, because you pretty much cannot like run off there. And then it goes left 5 and right 5, which is both like full throttle, but it goes into this left 4, don't cut to the right. Really, don't cut this left 4, because there's a ditch on the inside. So I'm going again into 5th, and then I'm gonna shift down to, I think 2nd it was. I mean, I keep it in 3rd. Usually 1 gear higher gives you a little bit more grip on gravel. This car, as I said, is on gravel tires, also on tarmac. You might want to go 1 gear higher than your normal instinct will tell you. So on this right hand side there is a bump. If you hit that, you will flip your car. I've had it many times. So at this point, just keep it safe a little bit wide, because there will still be a bump, which, as you see there, puts your rear end into a slide, which is slower, but if you go too slow to keep it in the, you know, in a grippy way, it's just not gonna happen. So, and out of that, it doesn't really matter if you are slow out of it, because it's a slow left-hander, and that one goes into a square right-hander again. It's very straightforward, this, outside, inside, outside, avoid that rock. On this left-hander, you can cut a little bit of the grass, you don't have to do it too much. And right here, it goes into a flat left and then a right hairpin, and it tightens. This is like a full risk send, which you can do here. And what you want to do is start braking pretty much at the transition to gravel. because that's what I'm gonna do here. And now you throw your car to the right, so you pretty much end up at an angle towards the inside there. Again, on the inside you've got a little bit of space, outside you've got a little bit of space. It looks tighter than it is. But still, it's one of those places where you will make mistakes at some point. Definitely if you're going to push for lap times. Over here, although the road goes left, you can pretty much cut this right and the left-hander. So, went a little bit wide here, even still. But you can just full throttle this. And this means you're going to go full throttle towards the last gravel section. I suggest to be a little bit safe here, because if you like go towards the outside here, because you overspeed, although it looks very inviting to use it, it's so much slower than the inside, which I'm taking here. I even like cut a little bit of the left-hand bump, and with that you can slide your car out. And now it gets a little bit tight. Although it's right 5 and bumpy, you want to stick it to the right-hand side here because of the bumps. So only your left-hand side will bump, whilst the right-hand side is pretty much flat. So you will pretty much always keep contact with the ground. And over here, you are going to use this outside a little bit. Don't take it too far, because you will just put yourself in a very awkward line over this crest. And that crest is a little bit important, because this is the last part. You go over this pipe here. And at this point, although the road goes to the right over there, so first straight and then to a right hairpin, which is not really a hairpin but more a square right, it says don't cut. But let me tell you something. Cut. Because over here you're just gonna aim at the finish and pray. There's no stage after this. Roll your car, damage it as much as you want, because you don't need the car after this. So this run brought me to a 357 from the top of my head. So I hope you guys have used to this, and like that you can use this to improve your lap time if you want to go for 3 stars. This is pretty much how you do it. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next video.